I don't see you really. But as far as I can see, you are really diehards to be here at the closing. I think, oh, it's not working. Yesterday evening, I think it was a great evening, the dinner and the dancing. And I took the opportunity to go around the tables and ask some impressions of the conference. And actually, I didn't hear so little negative sounds. You were all so positive about the networking, the speed dating, the people you could talk with, the interactivity of the sessions. So I think you saw a lot of some of the pictures and the tweets, and I followed the Twitter. You could see pictures and commands and the things people take away from this conference. I think you all know how it was. I think it was super. And that's great. We started with the speed date sessions, actually the cloud activities. And that's where we also want to end with, or one of the things we want to end with. And that is that each cloud coordinator will present the activities and the state of affairs of each cloud. And Ruben, one of the board members, will chair this part of the closing session. Ruben.
I don't need applause. I don't need applause. I have the most easiest job today. I just have to invite somebody from the clouds to come on the stage and to share some impressions, some ideas for the future, some insights, new ideas, and so on. So I'm going to push here, and then we have, cloud 1? No? Yeah, cloud 1, the green cloud on teacher education. And I don't know who will be here for cloud number 1. Yeah, please.
Yeah, I'm happy to see that much people here still. Good. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm presenting Teacher Education Cloud, and my name is Niina Impio, and I come from Finland, University of Oulu, and I'm one of the coordinator in this Teacher Education Cloud, and the other coordinator, and may I say also main coordinator, is Kati Mäkitalo-Siegel, who is right now on her way to the airport, so she wasn't able to participate this conclusion session. But we were asking to conclude somehow these 3 days, what we have done in our cloud sessions. And as you can guess, it is almost impossible to make in 2 minutes what we have discussed and present during these days. But we try to figure out something. And after a very lively and intensive speed dating session on Wednesday, we have that cloud session where we're working in our group by the method of Learning Café, and we were asking from our group members to rise up some hot topics in teacher education. And here you can see some of those. So there was teachers' professional development, teacher educators as a role model, and important skills and knowledge for future teachers, and attractivity of teacher education. And of course, there is always someone who is asking, why am I here? And actually in our Green Teacher Education Cloud, this is important questions because we always thinking that teaching is relating everything, and we like to be every clouds. And then on Thursday, we have invited symposium session, and there our topic was demands of 21st century for teacher education and teacher educators. And nowadays, when we are talking about development of education and teaching and learning and development of teacher education, we are talking about a lot what are actually 21st century skills. And somehow, together with Kati, we see that all those presentations and discussion in our Green Cloud were somehow related for this issue. So during these days, we have various kind of answer for this issue, and this phenomenon were analyzed from teacher educators, students and pupils, and also student-teachers' perspective. So that was, in a nutshell, these 3 days in our cloud, and we like to thank all participants who were participated our sessions, and also we like to have our cloud high, and thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I could ask the question why I'm here, but then I think Frank would be very angry. So let's move on to the second cloud, and that's the yellow one on educators' professional development.
Thank you. The Educators' Professional Development Cloud is about the educators' professional development, which is, of course, very much related to the teacher development. So what we've done, I have to see whether this is, yeah, these were our aims. We really would like to contribute towards the development of teachers' self-confidence, professional identity, beliefs, agency, and self-efficacy. That was the goal that we already defined last year, and we decided to work on whether or not there were new people in our group. It was actually quite nice to see that the whole amount of people doubled from 11 participants last year to 22, 23 this year. And we already decided last year that we would really like to be able to work together and in collaborative learning forums, in practice-based research, maybe in communities of learners. So we were still really trying to get to know each other in order to start projects together. In our first session, we talked about topics that we would really like to work on, and also a lot of activities that would make this possible, especially the activities we've been working on quite hard. So we really are trying to get the debate about the educators' professional development on next year's agenda, and we would also like to present together as Cloud members in next year's EAPRIL conference. Of course, we are trying to exchange good practices in the symposia, but also all year round, making use of the forums that are there at the EAPRIL website and also LinkedIn. And maybe you might even see our breakfast sessions next year. We're not sure about that yet. And we also decided that actions could be taken during this conference, so we started to Twitter with our own hashtag, aligned with the other hashtag of the EAPRIL, and we decided to invite everybody again for the LinkedIn group. Okay, so that's our activities. So then we went on. We also had, of course, our first opening session with the speed dating. Lots of people there, very challenging conversations. And we also had a really nice group photo. Not as nice as the first one. I like that one better, actually. But this is really nice. So there we are, all of us. And of course, yesterday we also had our Invited Cloud Symposium, all about teacher professionalization, or I should say educators professionalization, about mentoring, professional development, feedback, all these really important topics. So next to be there next year for us. Okay.
Thank you for sharing your insights. I think we also have some nice ideas to discuss in the board tomorrow morning. For instance, like breakfast meetings or not. Let's move on to the next cloud, the cloud on instructional strategies and learning environments. Please.
Thank you. Where do I press on an apple? Sorry? Down or up?
To the right.
To the right. Okay. Well, I'm not going to repeat what everyone else said, but one of our first things we wanted to do is to have a better definition of what is our cloud, because we thought it was a large definition. But life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. So, as you could see, we added a little bit to our definition instead of we removed something. So we went on to what cloud questions could we have, and this was the feeling that we had. So it's still large, it's still forming, but we were very happy with the discussions. Of course, we have a LinkedIn group where we go on, and we had some very nice questions, and Marcello and I will try to make something about that for next year's invited symposium. I'm not going to read them out. You have way too much learned already. Thank you.
Thank you very much for sharing your experiences. And if I have a look at these slides, I think you have already some nice titles for symposia next year. Okay, let's go to the next cloud, which is the cloud. Where are we? Cloud number 4, educators' professional development. No? Yeah, sorry.
Okay, I'm replacing the cloud coordinator, Mark Struik, and I love to do that because we had a wonderful discussion at Wednesday afternoon, the speed dating and discussion session. And what we noticed, besides that we also addressed the question what kind of group we are, but we hadn't the time to discuss that. But what we notice is that our discussion was not about the content of the cloud, but more about the innovation itself. How do we get everybody on board while innovating or implementing innovations? Over the movement, over the resistance and the slow and early adapters and so on. So I think that will be the issue of our cloud coming year. And so we will start up an email list, LinkedIn group, and so on, and send us our questions, our articles, our issues, our topics. And I'm glad to announce here that for 95% we have an extra or a new cloud coordinator. I assured that I wouldn't name her here, but I think, can I say? Okay, not the name, but she's from the Ukraine.
Thank you, Mark. If I see your last slide, there will be a lot of exchange between this conference and the next conference within cloud number 4. Ready for number 5, the cloud on workplace learning.
Well, yeah, there are 2 coordinators of this cloud as of now. And, well, let's first say that we really enjoyed the conference. It was great for our cloud. We met at the speed dating. We had some really nice exchange there. We had very good discussion and very lively discussion. And throughout the whole conference, it was really a good atmosphere. We met each other in different sessions and always got together and talked. And we had the symposium this morning, which was also very well received. And yeah, so there's we are a small cloud, but we are finding our way together. And this is something that shaped the atmosphere for us. So what we did was, first of all, think about our definition as a cloud, which I will give, and then Arnaud will take over with our action plans. So, definition and scope. Okay, I'll try to make it fast. This cloud involves studies and projects related to human resource development, corporate and educational learning and training, formal, informal, non-formal learning at the workplace, and organizational learning as such. A network of practitioner researchers interested in this topic is aimed for. This cloud can involve topics on the micro level, specific training programs, organizational learning projects, and or professional development of employees and students, conditions, process, output, and transfer, meso level in the organization, training program, and or institute or organization as a whole, and or micro level, policy-related issues. Thank you. We also tried to shorten it, but ended up, as you see, we underlined, we ended up broadening it and taking the schools also into account, because we say that also teachers have a workplace in schools, so also teachers and educators are welcome. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, first of all, I also would like to say that I really enjoyed all our sessions with in our cloud, and it was really a lot of fun this conference. So the future research and trending topics we came up with. First of all, the role of leadership in workplace learning. That came up in our symposium and also in a session, a present and discuss session. How to organize formal, non-formal and informal learning at work. That was also at our symposium. Transferability from education to work and from work back to education in our speed dating session. The learning at work of student teachers, for example, during their internships. So this was the addition to our definition. Also, workplace learning as part of lifelong learning. At Horizon 2020, about EU subsidies, workplace learning and informal learning is a very important topic. And I heard from Mark that there's 14 billion euros to spend on. So if we get a small percentage of that, then we are very happy as a cloud. So we can expand and conquer the world, so to say. Then reflect on practice and making tested knowledge explicit was also a topic mentioned. Our future plans and ideas, establishing a Cloud 5 network, the cloud meetings, possibly also cross over with other clouds, because you see a lot of comments, related topics. Common research, also members volunteer to take the lead on certain topics. For example, on leadership and learning at work of student teachers. Topic-related communities of practice was mentioned, and also a special edition of vocation and learning. So this was my part. So I really enjoyed it. So I hope to see you all next year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move on to the next cloud, the cloud on ICT, media and learning. For this cloud, the coordinator wasn't here this year at the conference. He was replaced by another coordinator, but the other coordinator has to take his flight today. So they asked me to say something about cloud number 6, ICT, media and learning. We had some very interesting speed dates in this cloud, which is a very small cloud. We had some very nice and interesting discussions, but at the same time, it was rather foggy in the cloud. We were struggling about our identity, and because a lot of people who are member of this cloud have very different backgrounds, very different research and practitioner interests. So we agreed that next year we will go further into these discussions on what's now the concrete identity of cloud number 6, ICT, media and learning. So next year, hopefully, there will be sunny weather instead of foggy weather from cloud number 6. So, and let's move now to the last cloud, practice-based research and inquiry. and again, 2 people for the clouds.
Yes, so Cloud 7, practice-based research and inquiry, is of course a very important cloud. So we had a lot of people, and we had a very interesting speed dating. It was a little chaotic, but they were very enthusiastic. Afterwards, we discussed about some main questions. We had decided about this last year. And at each question, we can show you some preliminary results. So this is the first question. What is practice-based research? And you can see that we had all interesting notes about it. And this is the second question about quality criteria. We also had an invited cloud symposium about this question. And we had also a very interesting discussion about this.
Next, we had the question of collaboration between practitioners and researchers. Again, you can see many different areas were discussed. And how to support and stimulate practice-based research. Our ideas as a group were to again have a discussion online in the LinkedIn in December 2013 and again in October 2014 to get ready for the next conference. We also are considering the Eliminate meeting, which is an online classroom. Again, we would do that in December and in October just to get all our ideas together before we forget them and then to review them just before the next conference. And for the next conference, we would like to build, the aim is to build a common knowledge about practice-based research in several discussion sessions. And the coordinators. Delegates, we had, as Anya already mentioned, we had a big group. We had more than 40 members attend from different nationalities. It was a very exciting and a loud speed dating session. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really like this one particular slide where you compared working together as researchers and practitioners is like dancing, correct? Okay. We saw it on the slide and we also saw it yesterday evening in practice. So, Frank, it's up to you.
Thank you, Ruben. Well, now there is the issue of the Best Research and Practice Project Award of 2013. We had a wonderful elevator pitch. It's really great what you did. And we had very interactive poster sessions of the awards, and we even had a much more impressive discussion and present sessions of the awards. It was already for the board, or the committee of the Best Practice and Best Research and Practice Project Award Committee, a very difficult year, and the committee was me as a chair, then Jong Heulen, also from a member of the EAPRIL board, Ruben van der Linden, also an EAPRIL board member, then Bernard Wenzel from the local organizing committee and HEP-BEJUNE, and Susan McKenney as an expert, as you saw this afternoon, and she was also the keynote speaker. This was the committee. It was already very difficult in June from the 15 submissions to elect 5 nominees. And I want to ask the nominees to get on the stage. That is Youth in Transition, Fostering Resilience for Vocational Education and Training, Taiga Brahm, Tobias Jennert, Dieter Uller, Daniel Steingruber of the University of St. Gallen in Switzerland, Proportional Reasoning as a key to numeracy across the curriculum, a collaboration between practitioners and researchers, Annette Hilton, Geoff Hilton, Shelley Dole, Marilyn Goose from Aarhus University in Denmark and University of Queensland in Australia, Ubico School unit as an inspiring learning environment. Heikki Konturi, these Finnish names, that's really... Hanna Yushu, Vuku Kangas, Kari Kumpulainen, Tuliki Tuuminen, and Sanne Järvelä. Then the guys from My Moment 2.1, Kinderschreiben auf einer Internetplattform, Children Write on an Internet Platform, Hans-Jakob Schneider, Andrea Scher, Esther Wiensner, Julian Furger, Claudia Fischer, Eugen Notte, and Thomas Lindauer from the University of Applied Science Arts, Northwestern, also from Switzerland. And then the last project group, Flexibility Competence Training Program for Secondary Teachers, looking at the cross-domain educational situations in a different way and crossing pupils' potentials in heterogeneous settings, Aneta Mecci and Margarita Sanchez Matzas from the University of Geneva in Switzerland. I can say, and all the people who were participating in the sessions, that these projects, all of these 5 projects, they are really great. And in the words of Susan, these 5 all are nice examples, very good examples of practitioner research. And because that you are a nominee, we want to give you a certificate so you can tell the world. Do we have to? Oh, why not? Oh, something in the procedure. You get a certificate that you were nominated for this award, so you can show the world that you were excellent already, even if you maybe not become the winner. Okay, sure. Everything is going wrong now. So, and these are the criteria. And looking to the criteria, actually, the committee was looking for an activity, a project, which is responsive to problems and questions of practice, where practical and theoretical integrate naturally. Theoretical, well-embedded based, dialectically activity existing of creating usable insights and use of these insights. Such an activity starts with good analysis and exploration of the need, wants, and commitment of what has to be output of the learning. And that helps to make people more competent in daily work and life and as a human as a whole. These projects were illustrations of intensive collaboration with teachers, team managers, school leaders, by observing, visiting, interviewing, and all kinds of other activities, but especially by listening and learning of the research to understand the practice and vice versa. This leads to a ground emergent insight that steers the process of research and change. And that again results in interventions that change practice. Change practice and the awareness of, and the pedagogical handling of, and decisions of all kinds of people concerned with learning and development. The research has supported progression in practice with a theoretical and societal spin-off in science and practical publications, as well as tools for teachers and teacher education. This in a way that dissemination is on its way and spreading, crossing the borders of its original ground, it has sprung out, and starting out branching to a mature tree. And now probably you think, all of you, well, I can still be the winner. That is. But it is especially this maturation and the maturity of the project concerning the intervention and theoretical, practical dissemination and the evolved network granting the future progression that has brought the opinions of the board and the committee together to decide that the Best Research and Practice Award of 2013 goes to the project Propositional Reasoning as a Key to Numeracy Across the Curriculum, a collaboration between practitioners and researchers. Thank you very much. It's a great project. Good. Yeah, and this too. Yeah. And we got a book. The certificate and a book. Oh, it's not?
No, that's not us.
Oh, wait.
That's them.
That's you, yeah. Oh, really? Youth in transition.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah, okay. And the flexibility. And the books. Okay. So this was really great, and I thank you that you did all the energy in the presentations. I think this even contributes to the quality of the whole competence. And I hope to see you again next year and to hear from you how all of your projects progressed. They were all very powerful. But there can be only one the winner. So, okay, thank you very much. So, now we are coming to the phase of thank you too. I want to thank our inspiring presenters, you, most of you, because I think most were active. Then the guys and women who were perfectly chairing the sessions. And also our enthusiastic and with a lot of passion, our chairs of the and coordinators of the clouds. And then, of course, you all. You were great participants. And then again, and I hope we can come back to you next year, this conference cannot exist without the work and the lot of work of the reviewers. So thanks again for the double-blind review, and I hope to see you again next year. But you can have reviewers, you can have wonderful clouds, but you also need a place. And I want to thank very much our host, HEP-BEJUNE, and I want to give the word to Bernard Wenzel, the Dean of Research of HEP-BEJUNE.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, mesdames et messieurs, chers collègues, it is a pleasure and an honor for me to conclude this EAPRIL conference. I will not give a long speech, just a few words about the 3 days of the conference. It was a very important and rewarding experience for the University of Teacher Education BEJUNE, for Marcelo Giglio, for me and my colleague to organize this conference. Indeed, it was a very interesting experience to us. We organized several conferences, but never before with so many participants. First, I'm happy with the smooth running of this conference, and I commend the professionalism of the committee, Frank de Jong, Ineke Bergman, and the other members. It's really a pleasure to work with you. Congratulations. HEP-BEJUNE is a young institution. Universities of teacher education in Switzerland are very young. They were created only 12 years ago. One of the main challenges of the University of Teacher Education to face was the improvement of the relationship between research, training, and practice. As Dean of Research in the HEP-BEJUNE during 5 years now, it was my job to contribute to this improvement. My research interest concerns the new form of relationship between research and practice in the context of vocational training. During the last 3 days, I attended several sessions and workshops, and I spoke with many colleagues. So I'm convinced that the EAPRIL conference and the content that the researchers present here help to create new relationships between research and practice. I must emphasize the quality of poster, of presentation, of keynote speech, and of various forms for scientific meeting proposed by EAPRIL. But why there is this evolution of research in recent years? In the field of vocational training, we see the emergence of new forms of research, new goals, and finally, new research practice. Is it a new way of conserving knowledge and its production process? Of course. Research practice continue to evolve. They include new actors and accordingly, new type of knowledge are produced. For a long time now, I'm convinced that there is not interest in opposing fundamental and applied research. My belief I reinforced after the EAPRIL conference. I'm sure that EAPRIL occupies a very important field, especially for research in education. I address this to my colleagues. We should really let us inspire to meet practitioners, to disseminate knowledge of research, or simply to present our scientific works. Je vais leur dire quelques mots en français. Il n'est pas toujours facile d'être chercheur ou formateur-chercheur dans une institution à vocation professionnalisante, comme par exemple la Haute École pédagogique. Il n'est pas toujours facile de valoriser le savoir que nous produisons. Ne cédons pas à la tentation applicationniste, ne cédons pas non plus à une logique de prescription à l'intention de la profession enseignante. Ce qui se joue ici, dans les différents processus de production de savoir orientés vers la pratique, est bien plus complexe. Nous avons à poursuivre la réflexion sur cela, et peut-être sur ce que j'appellerai, à l'issue de cette conférence, une sorte d'épistémologie pragmatique. Et tout ce que j'ai pu entendre pendant ces 3 jours, durant la conférence EAPRIL, me conforte dans cette idée. Je ne peux que me réjouir lorsque je découvre différents projets dans lesquels la collaboration entre praticiens et chercheurs peut se développer dans la construction d'un questionnement de recherche, dans la mise en place d'une méthodologie, dans l'expérimentation, dans la validation du savoir et même dans la diffusion et la valorisation du savoir. Je pense notamment à nos collègues finlandais, Mr. Theory et Mr. Practice, qui nous ont proposé et présenté le projet Ubico. Pour cela, EAPRIL est un formidable espace de rencontres et d'échanges. To conclude, I'm satisfied because this EAPRIL conference is a real success. I hope that the participants had the pleasure to discover our institution, the city of Bienne and Switzerland. I would like to thank all those who contributed to the success of this conference. Moreover, I would like to add a special thanks to Cosette Daddario, our fantastic Secretary of Research, Stéphanie Vave and Mélanie Buzer. Thanks to all the other members of the local committee. Thanks to the technicians for their high-quality work. Congratulations. I thank the rector and the other members of the management at HEP-BEJUNE. They have contributed to the success of this conference. Congratulations to the students and Alexandre, Marine, Dania, Laila for the work during these 3 days. This is so important. Finally, I especially thank Marcelo for all his work in organizing this conference. Marcelo, congratulations. Marcelo, you are entitled to have holiday now. Tu as mérité quelques jours de vacances. Congratulations to Ineke, Frank, and the other members committee. I wish a bright future to the association, and I will certainly participate at the conference of next year. Thank you for your attention.
We would not be here without the support of our fantastic local organizing committee. Je voudrais remercier ce comité fantastique. C'était parfois dur. Nous avons demandé énormément de vous, mais nous pouvions toujours compter de votre enthousiasme et grand engagement. C'était des jours très longs, mais je pense que nous pouvons être très, très contents. Merci bien pour tout, pour votre aide, pour votre enthousiasme et pour votre attitude professionnelle tous les jours. C'était un plaisir de travailler avec vous. Marcelo, Bernard, Stéphanie, Cosette, Mélanie, Christelle, Alexia, François, Loïc et Manu, est-ce que vous pouvez venir sur le podium, s'il vous plaît? nous avons arrangé quelque chose pour vous, pour remercier pour tout. Merci. Un grand merci aussi pour l'équipe technique et n'oubliez pas le personnel de la cuisine pour leur grand soutien durant ces journées très remplies. Nous avons amené quelques bonnes bouteilles de blanc pour boire à la santé de toutes les personnes concernées, à la bonne collaboration entre EAPRIL et HEP-BEJUNE. Also, a very big thank you to all the students that have supported us. I hope and I think you have noticed them in the rooms, helping presenters, guiding delegates. Votre aide a été très appréciée. Nous espérons que vous avez bien aimé cette conférence et cette expérience enrichissante. Si c'est possible, de venir sur le podium parce que nous avons amené aussi un petit cadeau pour vous. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank the board of EAPRIL. A year has passed by already since the last conference. I think we worked very hard to accomplish another successful conference. I hope, but I do think that we can say that we succeeded in our goal. Thank you for all your input, for your critical remarks. Also at this conference, thank you for organizing the EAPRIL board invited symposia, for taking part in various meetings and discussions, for chairing sessions, and also for closing the dance floor yesterday evening at our dinner. A special thanks goes to our EAPRIL chair, Frank de Jong. I don't think that EAPRIL could have had a better chair than we had with you the past 2 years. Your involvement in our community and your commitment to EAPRIL are remarkable. Thank you for chairing our community, for inspiring the other board members with new ideas, with new initiatives. We are very happy that we continue to have you as chair and to rely on your support for another 2 years. So I would like to give the floor now to Frank.
Well, thank you very much, Ineke. You are wonderful to work, but you can't be a chair of EAPRIL without a very good board. So I want to thank all the other board members. And come up to the stage so that everybody sees you. Philip is already gone, but Wilma from Switzerland, Marcelo, who did a good job in the board the last 2 years, please come up on the stage. Jong, Anje, Ruben, and Mark, and Ineke, of course. You are wonderful. And is this the right procedure? I know that I like talking, but I like drinking too. Thank you. Heel erg bedankt. Wel bedankt.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you. That's for you. Thank you. These people are doing, because you see the conference, but actually they do a very good job and hard working during the year, because EAPRIL is a bit more than a conference. And a board is nothing without the office. So I want to thank the office, and I want to first thank Ineke. You're wonderful. Come up. You're doing a lot. Too much. Thank you. I want to thank Tonia. Where's Tonia? She's doing all the finance of EAPRIL.
Thank you.
And Belinda, also. And then we still have 2 people which are still in the office in Leuven. They actually also contributed to this conference. They made the Twitter award yesterday and the Best Picture award. So this is for the coffee over there too.
Thanks.
Thank you very much, office. Yeah. Oh nee, is niet waar, ja. Well, actually, I want to have 2 people back, and that is Marcelo and Wilma. If you come back on the stage, because, yeah, come on. We had board elections, and Wilma and Marcelo will withdraw from the board. And we want to thank you very much as the contribution of Switzerland, which you did both. Wilma, much more in the background, but you really had very good contributions to what the conference actually is. Thinking about the workshops and all the way we can interact with each other. You worked very much together with Anje, and we really appreciate that. You weren't able to come always to the meetings, but you had a wonderful Marcelo behind. And Marcelo is a very creative person. He's really, his all art mind was in the board, and that gave a lot of creativity in our board sessions, and a lot of good ideas. Even when I was walking down the stairs this afternoon, he was still putting me ideas for the next conference in my pocket. And we really appreciate that, and therefore we want to thank you very much. So that is now, I want to announce you the new board. Then you see this, almost the same people. So that's myself, but also Sirpa Laitinen. She's the new board member, so Sirpa, I want to have you here so that you can introduce yourself to the EAPRIL community as a new board member. And I think it will be good as the other board members will on stage and backing her. So, George, Anja, Ruben, and Mark, and Ineke, come back on the stage. Don't leave Sirpa here as a newcomer in the board, but Okay. Do you want to say something?
I don't.
You have.
Hello all, my name is Sirpa Laitinen-Väänänen. As Frank already introduced me, I'm coming from Finland and from Jyväskylä, JAMK University of Applied Sciences, and there is a vocational teacher education college where I work as a principal lecturer. I'm in charge of research and development projects, and I do also some on-the-job learning courses in Finland and abroad. I was one of the hosts, I could say, or organizers last EAPRIL conference in Finland, and I'm so honored and humble in the front of this new challenge I have. I will try to do my best, and I will keep my eyes open. I will hear your voice, and I think that together we will construct the future of EAPRIL. And I'm so happy that I have a lovely board with me in this work. Thank you.
Thank you. So, and then where are we going next year? We still don't know. But during these days, we got already 4 possible places where to go, and we will work that out in the next months. So as soon as we know where we go next year, you will hear that from us. And actually, these board members, they are going to work already tomorrow morning on the next conference, because that's our first board meeting already. And in the meantime, I hope you have a very good, nice trip back home, and see you next year, wherever it might be. Bye.